Goldman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630, WMAL.
But I can report, with 1,770 precincts reporting, Governor Mitt Romney received 30,015 votes. Senator Rick Santorum received 30,007 votes. Congratulations to Governor Mitt Romney.
Romney wins by 8 votes, but Santorum practically nipping at his heels, just 8 votes below him. Paul coming in with 21% of the vote after the Hawkeye are all counted. Let's go to the great state of Iowa. John McCormack, a writer for the Weekly Standard, is there. John, we have just heard from ABC News that at 11 o'clock this morning, I'm not sure whether that's Eastern or Central Time, we're going to have a press conference from Michelle Bachmann. Any idea what's up?
I have no inside knowledge. I would suspect that if there's a big announcement like that she is going to drop out, but I have no inside knowledge. That's pure speculation. 6% showing is not too good, and furthermore, I had Jim Bob Duggar tell me last night that he thinks she should drop out, and if Jim Bob Duggar of the show 19 Kids and Counting says you shouldn't be in there, then you probably shouldn't be in there.
Well, and you had Sarah Palin saying last night that she thought it was time for Michelle Bachmann to get out, but you know, it may be, knowing Bachmann, that she's just going to answer those charges and say I'm not giving up.
that could very well be too.
Who knows? Well, we'll be watching with bated breath. Okay, so Romney squeaks out a win by 8 votes, but I think sort of the big story is the rapid rise of Santorum. What do you think?
You know, I agree. I actually got a chance to speak to Rick Santorum way back on December 21st of 2011 when no one thought he had a chance to win, and I'm very surprised as well. He was in single digits just a few weeks ago, and the fact that he basically had a virtual tie with Romney is pretty stunning, I think.
All right, did he win people over, or was it just that he was the last guy left standing in the corner and they had no choice but to dance with him?
It was both. You know, my colleague Steve Hayes, more than I, had a piece a few weeks ago where he kept meeting different voters across Iowa who said, you know, I like Santorum, I want to vote for him, but I don't want to throw my vote away. And then some things just broke for him. You know, he got a big endorsement from Mike Huckabee's 2008 state chairman, an evangelical leader named Bob Vanderplots, who ran himself in 2010 for the governor's race and lost, but has a devoted following. And when you've got such a fluid race, and you know, everybody's at such low percentages, to go from 10 to 20, you can do that with an endorsement from someone like that, and a lot of the media coverage that came along with that.
John, you've seen both of these teams on the ground now, Romney and Santorum. You've worked with them covering the campaigns. What did you think of what you saw as far as their organization and sort of just basic competence goes, and how it translates to future races?
Yeah, I mean, Santorum's team is definitely a shoestring operation. Romney's is probably more professional, but I don't know if either's necessarily, you know, if it's so great that that's going to be determinative. I don't think that, obviously it wasn't, you know, here, the fact that Santorum had such a little amount of money. I mean, combined, everybody outside group spent something like $600,000 on his behalf. Romney was upwards of $4 million. Rick Perry spent $6 million. And Santorum won. So, I mean, obviously money is going to need to come for him to compete nationally. You can't replicate this. You can't go to 381 events in every state as we go forward.
All right.
But I think that he really could have a shot. So
you got Perry reassessing in Texas. Sounds like he's lost the fire in his belly. Mm-hmm. You got Michelle Bachmann, some announcement. Is it if the support that are certainly coalesced around them were to move to someone like Gingrich or to Santorum, who has the mo at the moment, then Romney could still have his hands full.
Exactly. I think that the Team Romney is very excited about their 8-vote win last night, and credit to them. That is a win, but I think that we really don't know how this is going to play out, and that's if this becomes a two-man race, whether between Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum or Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich, I think that he really could lose this thing. So I don't think they should be counting their chickens.
Does Romney need to be careful about expectations in New Hampshire? Because people are saying, oh, he's 25 points ahead, it's going to be a huge victory, and then if he's wins by 17, do people start going,
I think he should. You know, I mean, things are going to change very quickly with the Iowa caucuses, with the Iowa results, and I would say the one thing to look at is there was a 2010 Senate race, a GOP race between Kelly Ayotte, the current senator, and this Tea Party-ish guy named Ovide Lamontagne.
Right.
And Kelly Ayotte was winning by something like 20, 30 points, and all of a sudden the race just snapped to 2 points. In the last week, she ended up winning by 1 point. So things can change very quickly, and we've seen this happen before in New Hampshire just in the last year.
All right, I have to ask you this. I've read lots of stories on it. I still can't figure it out. Do you understand the delegate situation here? I mean, it was a non-binding election last night in Iowa. So
if you really, really want to get into the details,
well, go ahead.
Yes, that's the base. Basically, what you said is correct, and there was a good report saying that Ron Paul might actually end up winning most of the delegates because the way you get delegates is by getting the people at the congressional district caucus in June and the statewide caucus, and those will be people who were elected by people last night. And if the Ron Paul guys were the ones who got elected to go on to these county level caucuses, and then they get elected to go on to the congressional caucuses and the state caucus, it's 28 delegates. That's 1% of the delegates. It's not a huge deal. This was a beauty contest to begin with.
Right.
So do we put too much emphasis on the beauty part of it then?
Yeah, I don't think too many beautiful people out here.
All right,
included.
If you were Rick Santorum, the camp, they say they're going to go to New Hampshire, but would it be wise to say, hey, we're going to
meet you in South Carolina?
We'll see you in South Carolina, and we'll call that the place where we're going to have our last chance, our last stand, the Alamo, or whatever you want to call it.
I'm skeptical of that. I think you've always got to fight as you do your best in every single venue. Look at John Huntsman right now. I don't think he's going to be able to win in New Hampshire because he skipped there. He took himself out of the story. He took himself out of the front pages for weeks while everyone focused on Iowa. And Rick Santorum would do the same if he were just to go straight to South Carolina. There's going to be 2 debates on Saturday and Sunday in New Hampshire. He's got to be there anyway.
Right.
So he just needs to give it his best. And even if he comes in, if he jumps from 5 points right now to 25 points or 20 points, that could be a quote-unquote win.
One last question. Newt Gingrich last night, his speech afterward was pretty meaningful, I thought. He talked a lot about, hey, it's not just important to beat Barack Obama, but we have to do things to actually change this country. We actually have to govern. It was a big picture, which is how Gingrich usually talks. But he also sounded ticked off at Mitt Romney, and he had some praise for Rick Santorum. So I'm just wondering that effect, what would it have on the next couple of weeks? Will we finally see somebody go after Mitt Romney at a very strong level?
I think there's no doubt. Gingrich has been telling reporters out here that he has no choice but to finally go after Romney. And he has been going after Romney when he's been asked to do so in interviews, but his TV ads have all been positive so far. He was trying to blunt the impact of all these negative ads that were coming at him, and he thought if he could keep his ads positive, that could sort of delegitimize them. But I definitely think Gingrich he already has an ad out today in the Union Leader in New Hampshire, very hard-hitting, full-page ad hitting Mitt Romney on all sorts of things, from fiscal policy to social issues. So I definitely think that Gingrich is going to go into the debates on Tuesday and Sunday with the guns blazing after Mitt, and Santorum will be doing his part to knock down Romney as well. So it'll be real exciting to see what happens these next.
John, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Great. Thank you very much.